On the real estate license exam, questions often use tricky wording to test your true grasp of key concepts. In this video, we'll expose you to the different wording twists that could challenge you on exam day. And don't miss what's happening in the bottom corner. It's designed to supercharge your exam prep. We'll explain more in just a minute. Let's dive in and get started.
Real property characteristics and legal descriptions. Meets and bounds descriptions. Which of the following is not generally included in a meets and bounds description? Is it A, natural landmarks, B, compass directions, C, tax assessments, or D, distances in feet or meters? The answer is C, tax assessments. What makes this one tricky? The question uses not, which requires careful reading. Meets and bounds descriptions typically include landmarks, directions, and distances, but not tax assessments, which are financial details unrelated to property boundaries. In a meets and bounds description, which element is crucial to ensure the description is legally valid? Is it A, an initial point, B, a closure, C, a cardinal direction, or D, a reference to a nearby street? The answer is B, a closure. What makes this one tricky? The question requires understanding that a closure is necessary. A meets and bounds description must form a closed loop to be valid, ensuring the property boundaries are fully enclosed.
Have you noticed the code in the bottom corner? Next time you're stumped, take that code to birdsy.ai for immediate help and a free study session with Birdsy, your personal AI study partner. Plus, you'll get access to hundreds of additional questions, helping you move closer to passing your exam with confidence. The next time you're feeling unsure or stuck, give it a try.
Why might a meets and bounds description be challenging to interpret for a property with irregular boundaries? Is it A, complexity of following nonlinear paths, B, lack of initial point, C, absence of natural landmarks, or D, use of outdated compass directions? The answer is A, complexity of following nonlinear paths. What makes this one tricky? The question focuses on interpreting descriptions with irregular boundaries. Meets and bounds can be complex due to the need to accurately follow nonlinear paths, leading to potential misinterpretation. Which of the following statements about meets and bounds descriptions is true? Is it A, they are the most modern method for property description, B, they always use GPS coordinates for accuracy, C, they are unsuitable for properties with irregular shapes, or D, they are adaptable to properties with irregular boundaries? The answer is D, they are adaptable to properties with irregular boundaries. What makes this one tricky? The question asks for a true statement, requiring attention to detail. Meets and bounds descriptions are indeed adaptable to irregularly shaped properties, unlike other methods that may struggle with non-standard shapes. Lot and block system. In the lot and block system, which of the following is not typically included in the description of a property? Is it A, lot number, B, block number, C, zoning classification, or D, subdivision name? The answer is C, zoning classification. What makes this one tricky? The other options are typically included in a lot and block description. A property's zoning classification is not part of the legal description, as zoning is a regulatory measure, not a boundary identifier. Which of the following best describes the role of a plat map in the lot and block system? Is it A, it serves as a legal document for property ownership, B, it acts as a surveyor's tool for measuring land, C, it determines the zoning of a property, or D, it graphically depicts property divisions in a subdivision? The answer is D, it graphically depicts property divisions in a subdivision. What makes this one tricky? The term legal document can mislead. A plat map provides a visual representation of property divisions. While it is used legally, Its primary role is to graphically depict lot and block arrangements. When using the lot and block system, which of the following is always necessary to establish a property's legal description? Is it A, a detailed survey by a licensed surveyor, B, a recorded plat map, C, a medius and bounds description, or D, the property's zoning classification? The answer is B, a recorded plat map. What makes this one tricky? The word always is key. A plat map is always necessary because it provides the visual and legal framework for the lot and block system, unlike the other components.
If you're finding this helpful, please take a minute to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, useful tips, and complimentary study sessions with Birdsy.
Government survey system and rectangular survey. In the rectangular survey system, which of the following best describes how townships are defined? Is it A, a grid of 1 square mile, B, a linear strip of land 6 miles wide, C, a square area of 6 miles on each side, or D, an area of land encompassing 640 acres? The answer is C, a square area of 6 miles on each side. What makes this one tricky? The question uses similar terminology that can confuse test takers. A township is a square area of 6 miles on each side, totaling 36 square miles. This is distinct from sections, which are 1 square mile each. Which of the following is not true about the baseline and principal meridian in the government survey system? Is it A, baselines run east-west, B, principal meridians run north-south, C, they are used to establish townships and ranges, or D, they intersect at the equator? The answer is D, they intersect at the equator. What makes this one tricky? The use of not requires careful reading. Baselines run east-west and meridians run north-south. They do not intersect at the equator, but are specific to each survey area. How does the rectangular survey system define a section within a township? Is it A, a rectangular area of 36 square miles, B, a square area of 1 mile on each side, C, a strip of land 6 miles wide, or D, an area encompassing 36 square miles? The answer is B, a square area of 1 mile on each side. What makes this one tricky? The term section is often confused with township. A section is 1 square mile, equivalent to 640 acres, and there are 36 sections in a township. Encumbrances and liens. Lien priority and foreclosure. Which type of lien is most likely to survive a foreclosure sale due to its statutory priority? Is it A, mechanics lien, B, judgment lien, C, property tax lien, or D, second mortgage lien? The answer is C, property tax lien. What makes this one tricky? The term statutory priority might lead some to think of government-related liens. However, property tax liens have statutory priority and often remain post-foreclosure, unlike other liens. In a foreclosure, which of the following liens is least likely to be affected by the foreclosure process? Is it A, property tax lien, B, homeowners association lien, C, judgment lien, or D, mechanics lien? The answer is A, property tax lien. What makes this one tricky? The use of least likely requires careful reading. Property tax liens are unaffected by foreclosure due to their superior priority. Which statement about foreclosure and lien priority is generally accurate? Is it A, all liens are extinguished in foreclosure, B, first mortgage liens generally have priority over others, C, judgment liens always take precedence, or D, second mortgage liens never survive foreclosure? The answer is B, first mortgage liens generally have priority over others. What makes this one tricky? The word generally implies exceptions exist. Typically, first mortgages have priority, but property tax liens can override this. Which factor does not influence the priority of a lien in a foreclosure? Is it A, recording date, B, type of lien, C, owner's credit score, or D, statutory laws? The answer is C, owner's credit score. What makes this one tricky? The use of not requires careful reading. The type of lien, not the owner's credit score, affects lien priority. Easements and their impact on property use. A homeowner discovers an easement on their property that allows neighbors to use a path across their yard. Which of the following is not a likely impact of this easement? Is it A, reduced privacy due to increased foot traffic, B, restrictions on building structures over the path, C, potential decrease in property value, or D, ability to block the path with a fence? The answer is D, ability to block the path with a fence. What makes this one tricky? The question asks for a negative impact, which can be overlooked. Easements generally do not allow blocking access, though they can limit privacy and property alterations. Which statement about easements by necessity is false? Is it A, they arise when a property is landlocked, B, they are created for convenience rather than necessity, C, they are terminated when the necessity ends, or D, they provide the right to use a neighbor's land for access? The answer is B, they are created for convenience rather than necessity. What makes this one tricky? The use of false can lead to confusion. Easements by necessity are created when a property is landlocked, not for convenience. Which of the following best describes the impact of an easement in gross on a property? Is it A, it benefits the property owner by allowing exclusive use of the land, B, it is tied to the land and passes with property ownership, C, it benefits a person or entity rather than a property, or D, it allows for the construction of permanent structures on the servient estate? The answer is C, it benefits a person or entity rather than a property. What makes this one tricky? The question uses best describes, which requires careful consideration. Easements in gross benefit individuals or entities without benefiting adjacent land. Which scenario is least likely to result in an easement by prescription? Is it A, a neighbor occasionally uses a path through a property without permission, B, a neighbor uses a driveway openly and without permission for 15 years, C, a person openly maintains a garden on another's property for 20 years, or D, a company uses a private road for deliveries without the owner's consent for a decade? The answer is A, a neighbor occasionally uses a path through a property without permission. What makes this one tricky? The phrase least likely can be overlooked. Prescriptive easements require continuous, open, and notorious use, not intermittent or hidden use.
Stuck on a question? Just think of the Birdsy link in the description as your friendly neighborhood superhero, swooping in to save the day with answers. Feel free to explore it now and return to continue. Simply hit pause, and we'll be waiting when you get back.
Covenants, conditions, and restrictions. Which of the following is not typically included in covenants, conditions, and restrictions, CC&Rs, for a residential community? Is it A, architectural guidelines, B, pet restrictions, C, property tax assessments, or D, maintenance obligations? The answer is C, property tax assessments. What makes this one tricky? The question uses a negative form, which can confuse test takers. CC&Rs generally include property use restrictions and maintenance obligations, but tax assessment details are handled by governmental entities, not CC&Rs. A homeowner in a community governed by CC&Rs wants to paint their house a unique color. Which statement is most accurate regarding their ability to do so? Is it A, they can paint without restrictions, B, they must get approval from the homeowners association, C. They can paint if no one objects within 30 days. Or D. They are allowed if it matches the neighborhood theme. The answer is B. They must get approval from the homeowners association. What makes this one tricky? The question uses most accurate, requiring careful consideration of each option. CC&Rs often require approval for exterior changes, making unapproved actions potentially problematic. Which of the following might a homeowner be surprised to find restricted by CC&Rs? Is it A. Solar panel installations, B. Building a fence, C. Parking regulations, or D. Holiday decorations? The answer is A. Solar panel installations. What makes this one tricky? The question asks what might surprise a homeowner, which requires understanding common misconceptions. CC&Rs can restrict solar panel installations despite their eco-friendly benefits. Real estate financing calculations, loan amortization and monthly payment calculations. A borrower has a 25-year fixed mortgage of $250,000 at an annual interest rate of 3.5%. If they pay an extra $200 towards the principal each month, how does this affect the loan's interest cost? Is it A. It increases the total interest cost, B. It decreases the total interest cost, C. It has no effect on the total interest cost, or D. It only affects the loan term, not the interest cost? The answer is B. It decreases the total interest cost. What makes this one tricky? The extra payment reduces the principal faster, lowering the total interest paid over the loan's life. Borrowers often overlook how additional payments impact interest costs significantly. Which of the following does not directly influence the calculation of a loan's monthly payment? Is it A. Loan term, B. Interest rate, C. Real estate taxes, or D. Loan amount? The answer is C. Real estate taxes. What makes this one tricky? Real estate taxes are often escrowed with the mortgage payment, but they don't affect the calculation of the principal and interest portion of the monthly payment. For a $300,000 mortgage at a 6% interest rate over 20 years, how does choosing a 15-year term instead affect the monthly payment? Is it A. It decreases the monthly payment, B. It has no effect on the monthly payment, C. It slightly increases the monthly payment, or D. It significantly increases the monthly payment? The answer is D. It significantly increases the monthly payment. What makes this one tricky? A shorter term increases the monthly payment significantly, which can be surprising. However, it also reduces the total interest paid over the loan's life. If a borrower refinances their mortgage to a lower interest rate but keeps the same loan term, how does it affect their monthly payment? Is it A. It decreases the monthly payment, B. It increases the monthly payment, C. It has no effect on the monthly payment, or D. It only affects the total interest paid, not the monthly payment? The answer is A. It decreases the monthly payment. What makes this one tricky? Refinancing to a lower interest rate reduces the monthly payment, but borrowers might overlook other factors like closing costs that can affect overall savings. Which of the following scenarios would most likely lead to a decrease in a borrower's monthly mortgage payment? Is it A. Refinancing to a higher interest rate with the same term, B. Extending the loan term while keeping the same interest rate, C. Keeping the same loan term and interest rate, or D. Increasing the loan amount with a lower interest rate? The answer is B. Extending the loan term while keeping the same interest rate. What makes this one tricky? Borrowers might assume refinancing always helps, but extending the loan term often reduces payments more significantly than refinancing at a lower rate. Qualifying ratios and loan eligibility. A borrower earns $6,500 monthly and has a front-end ratio requirement of 28%. What is the maximum allowable monthly housing expense? Is it A, $1,420, B, $1,750, C, $1,820, or D, $1,950? The answer is C, $1,820. What makes this one tricky? The front-end ratio is often confused with the back-end ratio. Here, only housing expenses are considered. Calculating 28% of $6,500 gives a maximum housing expense of $1,820. Which of the following is not included in the back-end debt-to-income ratio calculation? Is it A, car loan payments, B, credit card minimum payments, C, student loan payments, or D, utility bills? The answer is D, utility bills. What makes this one tricky? The back-end ratio includes all monthly debt payments. However, utility bills are not considered debts and are thus not included in the calculation. If a lender requires a loan-to-value ratio of 80% for a property valued at $250,000, what is the maximum loan amount the borrower can obtain? Is it A, $200,000, B, $210,000, C, $220,000, or D, $230,000? The answer is A, $200,000. What makes this one tricky? The LTV ratio limits the loan amount to a percentage of the property's value. Calculating 80% of $250,000 gives a maximum loan amount of $200,000. Which of the following statements about qualifying ratios is always true? Is it A, qualifying ratios only consider gross income, B, qualifying ratios compare income to debt obligations, C, qualifying ratios never include variable income, or D, qualifying ratios are set by federal law? The answer is B, qualifying ratios compare income to debt obligations. What makes this one tricky? The use of always can mislead. Qualifying ratios vary by lender, but they consistently include a comparison of income to debt obligations.
Notice the code in the corner? When you're stumped by a question, enter it at birdsy.ai for immediate help. Enjoy complimentary study sessions and access to hundreds of additional questions to help you pass your exam with confidence.
Closing cost prorations and adjustments. A property is sold on March 31st, and the seller has already paid the quarterly water bill of $150 on January 1st. How much should the buyer reimburse the seller for the water bill at closing? Is it A, $0, B, $50, C, $75, or D, $150? The answer is B, $50. What makes this one tricky? The quarterly payment covers January, February, and March. Since the sale is on March 31st, the buyer owes nothing for the water bill as the seller has used the entire service period. A property is sold on October 20th. The seller has paid the annual property insurance of $1,200 on January 1st. How much should the buyer reimburse the seller at closing? Is it A, $200, B, $300, C, $400, or D, $240? The answer is D, $240. What makes this one tricky? The insurance covers January through December. The buyer needs to reimburse for the unused portion from October 20th to December 31st, totaling 72 days. A property is sold on November 15th. The annual property taxes of $2,400 are due on December 31st. How much should the buyer credit the seller at closing? Is it A, $2,000, B, $400, C, $1,800, or D, $600? The answer is A, $2,000. What makes this one tricky? The taxes are payable at year-end, but the seller needs to cover January 1st to November 15th. the buyer credits the seller for these days. A property is sold on May 10th, and the seller has received a full-year rent payment of $12,000 on January 1st. How much rent should the seller credit the buyer at closing? Is it A, $4,000, B, $6,000, C, $8,000, or D, $10,000? The answer is C, $8,000. What makes this one tricky? The buyer is entitled to rent from May 10th to December 31st. The seller must credit the buyer for this remaining period. A property is sold on August 5th. The seller prepaid the annual homeowner's insurance of $1,800 on January 1st. How much should the buyer reimburse the seller at closing? Is it A, $900, B, $750, C, $600, or D, $450? The answer is B, $750. What makes this one tricky? The insurance covers the entire year. The buyer reimburses from August 5th to December 31st, which is a prorated portion. Contracts and agency relationships. Fiduciary duties and agency conflicts. Which of the following actions would most likely breach an agent's fiduciary duty of loyalty to their principal? Is it A, disclosing all offers to the principal, B, negotiating terms that favor the principal, C, accepting a referral fee without informing the principal, or D, providing a market analysis to the principal? The answer is C, accepting a referral fee without informing the principal. What makes this one tricky? The question implies a choice between similar-sounding options. The agent's duty of loyalty means prioritizing the principal's interests above their own or others. Accepting a personal referral fee without disclosure breaches this duty. In which scenario might an agent unintentionally breach their duty of confidentiality? Is it A, sharing the principal's property value with a prospective buyer, B, discussing the principal's financial situation with another client, C, informing the principal of a buyer's offer, or D, providing marketing materials to the public? The answer is B, discussing the principal's financial situation with another client. What makes this one tricky? The question includes similar-sounding situations. An agent may inadvertently breach confidentiality by discussing the principal's financial situation with another client, even if not directly related to a transaction. Which of the following is not a fiduciary duty owed by an agent to their principal? Is it A, loyalty, B, obedience, C, disclosure, or D, profitability? The answer is D, profitability. What makes this one tricky? The use of not can mislead. While loyalty, obedience, and disclosure are fiduciary duties, profitability is not. Agents are not required to guarantee profits. An agent is working with two clients interested in the same property. Which fiduciary duty is most at risk? Is it A, loyalty, B, accounting, C, care, or D, disclosure? The answer is A, loyal. What makes this one tricky? The scenario presents a common conflict. Loyalty is at risk when an agent represents competing interests, as they must prioritize one client's interests over another's. Contract elements and validity. In a real estate contract, which element is not essential for its validity? Is it A, offer, B, acceptance, C, witnesses, or D, consideration? The answer is C, witnesses. What makes this one tricky? The question uses a negative, which can confuse test takers. The correct answer is witnesses, as they are not required for a contract's validity, unlike offer, acceptance, and consideration. Which of the following statements about contract capacity is false? Is it A, individuals must be of sound mind to enter a contract, B, corporations can enter contracts through authorized agents, C. Contracts with minors are generally voidable. Or D. Minors have full capacity to enter contracts. The answer is D. Minors have full capacity to enter contracts. What makes this one tricky? The use of false can mislead students. The statement about minors having full capacity is incorrect, as they typically lack the legal ability to enter into binding contracts. In a contract, what does the term mutual assent refer to? Is it A. Agreement of both parties to the contract terms? B. The financial consideration exchanged in a contract? C. The legal capacity of parties to enter a contract? Or D. The formal execution of the contract document? The answer is A. Agreement of both parties to the contract terms. What makes this one tricky? The term mutual assent might confuse with similar sounding terms. It is the agreement of both parties to the terms, which is essential for contract formation. Listing agreements and commission disputes. In a net listing agreement, which of the following statements is true regarding the agent's commission? Is it A. The commission is a fixed percentage of the sale price? B. The commission is determined by the difference between the sale price and the appraised value? C. The commission is the amount over the seller's desired net price? Or D. The commission is always predetermined before listing the property? The answer is C. The commission is the amount over the seller's desired net price. What makes this one tricky? The term net listing can confuse test takers because it suggests a fixed price. The agent's commission is actually the amount over the seller's desired net price, which can vary significantly. Which of the following is not a common reason for a commission dispute between a seller and a real estate agent? Is it A. Disagreement over the commission rate agreed upon in the listing agreement? B. The agent's personal investment in the property? C. Misunderstanding of the terms of the listing agreement? Or D. The seller finding a buyer independently and refusing to pay commission? The answer is B. The agent's personal investment in the property. What makes this one tricky? The use of not requires careful reading. Commission disputes typically arise from misunderstandings about commission rates, not from the agent's personal investment in the property. In an exclusive agency listing, which scenario could result in the agent not receiving a commission? Is it A. The property is sold by another brokerage firm? B. The property is sold through a multiple listing service? C. The property is sold by the listing agent? Or D. The property owner sells the property independently? The answer is D. The property owner sells the property independently. What makes this one tricky? The exclusive agency listing allows the owner to sell without paying a commission, which can be overlooked by those who confuse it with an exclusive right-to-sell listing.
Don't forget to comment below with your tips, challenges, and thoughts on exam preparation. Your experiences can make a big difference for others.
Property valuation and appraisal. Income approach to valuation. Which of the following is not a factor considered when determining the capitalization rate in the income approach to valuation? Is it A. Market conditions? B. Interest rates? C. Historical purchase price? Or D. Property risk? The answer is C. Historical purchase price. What makes this one tricky? The question uses a negative format, asking which factor is not considered, which can easily confuse test takers. The capitalization rate does not directly consider the property's historical purchase price. In the income approach, what is the primary reason for adjusting the net operating income before applying the capitalization rate? Is it A. To reflect current market conditions? B. To increase the property value? C. To reduce tax liabilities? Or D. To account for future improvements? The answer is A. to reflect current market conditions. What makes this one tricky? The question includes similar sounding options that can mislead. Adjusting NOI ensures it reflects current market conditions and property performance, providing an accurate basis for valuation. Which of the following statements about the direct capitalization method is false? Is it A, it uses a single year's NOI to estimate property value? B, it is best suited for properties with stable income? C, it requires a reliable capitalization rate? Or D, it involves detailed future cash flow projections? The answer is D. It involves detailed future cash flow projections. What makes this one tricky? The question asks for the false statement, which can be confusing. Direct capitalization does not require detailed future cash flow projections, unlike the discounted cash flow method. Sales comparison approach. Which of the following is not a factor typically adjusted for in the sales comparison approach? Is it A, location? B, physical characteristics? C, appraiser's opinion? Or D, financing terms? The answer is C, appraiser's opinion. What makes this one tricky? The question uses a negative wording, which may lead to confusion. Adjustments are made for location, physical characteristics, and financing terms, but not typically for appraiser's opinion. In the sales comparison approach, why might an appraiser include a recently sold property with a significantly different sale price than others? Is it A, to ensure a wider range of data points? B, to average out the prices for accuracy? C, to highlight inconsistencies in the market? Or D, to identify market trends or unique conditions? The answer is D, to identify market trends or unique conditions. What makes this one tricky? The inclusion of a property with a different sale price might seem irrelevant, but it can indicate market trends or unique buyer motivations. Which of the following statements is always true in the sales comparison approach? Is it A, adjustments are made to account for differences between comparables? B, the most expensive comparable is the best indicator of value? C, only properties sold within the last month are used? Or D, appraisers never use properties under contract as comparables? The answer is A, adjustments are made to account for differences between comparables. What makes this one tricky? The use of always implies a universal truth, which can mislead test takers. Adjustments are indeed always made to account for differences between comparable properties. Cost approach for unique properties. When applying the cost approach to a unique historical property, which of the following is not typically a consideration in estimating the reproduction cost? Is it A, current material costs? B, labor expenses? C, historical significance? Or D, construction methods? The answer is C, historical significance. What makes this one tricky? The question uses not, requiring careful reading. Reproduction cost typically considers materials and labor, but not the property's historical significance. Historical significance affects market value, not reproduction cost. Which of the following is least likely to affect the depreciation estimate in the cost approach for a custom-designed luxury home? Is it A, functional obsolescence? B, current market trends? C, physical deterioration? Or D, external obsolescence? The answer is B, current market trends. What makes this one tricky? The phrase least likely requires identifying the least relevant factor. Market trends affect overall value but not directly depreciation, which focuses on physical, functional, and external factors. Real estate law and regulations. Fair Housing Act violations and exemptions. Which of the following housing situations is not exempt from the Fair Housing Act? Is it A, owner-occupied buildings with no more than 4 units? B, single-family homes sold or rented without a broker? C, commercial apartment buildings? Or D, private clubs providing housing to members? The answer is C, commercial apartment buildings. What makes this one tricky? The question uses a negative phrasing, asking what is not exempt. The Fair Housing Act typically exempts owner-occupied buildings with no more than 4 units, but not commercial properties. Under which condition can a religious organization legally limit occupancy to its members without breaching the Fair Housing Act? Is it A, housing is not operated commercially? B, housing is available to the public? C, housing is subsidized by federal funds? Or D, housing is located on religious property? The answer is A, housing is not operated commercially. What makes this one tricky? The question includes similar sounding options. Religious organizations can limit occupancy if housing is not for commercial purposes, which is a specific exemption under the Act. Which of the following actions by a landlord would be considered a violation of the Fair Housing Act? Is it A, refusing to rent to a tenant with a poor credit score? B, offering a discount to tenants without pets? C, charging higher rent for short-term leases? Or D, refusing to rent to a family with children? The answer is D, refusing to rent to a family with children. What makes this one tricky? The options contain similar wording and plausible actions. Refusing to rent based on family status is a direct violation of the Fair Housing Act, which protects familial status. Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act requirements. Under the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, which of the following is not a requirement for lenders when dealing with affiliated business arrangements? Is it A, provide a written disclosure of the relationship? B, ensure no party is required to use the affiliated service? C, offer alternative service providers to the borrower? Or D, disclose any financial interest in the service provider? The answer is C, offer alternative service providers to the borrower. What makes this one tricky? The question uses negative wording and focuses on exceptions within a specific context. RESPA requires disclosure and no coercion, but does not require lenders to offer alternative services. Which of the following actions is a violation of the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act regarding escrow accounts? Is it A, requiring monthly escrow payments for property taxes? B, collecting more than 2 months' worth of escrow payments as a cushion? C, establishing an escrow account for hazard insurance? Or D, requiring separate escrow accounts for different charges? The answer is B, collecting more than 2 months' worth of escrow payments as a cushion. What makes this one tricky? The question includes absolutes and similar sounding terms. RESPA limits the amount a lender can require in escrow, but does not limit the number of accounts. Truth in Lending Act disclosures. Under the Truth in Lending Act, which of the following must be disclosed to a borrower in a real estate transaction involving a mortgage? Is it A, total loan amount? B, annual percentage rate? C, monthly payment amount? Or D, property tax rate? The answer is B, annual percentage rate. What makes this one tricky? The options contain similar sounding terms, but only the APR is specifically required by TILA. The APR includes interest rate plus other costs, while others are not mandated by TILA.
Thanks for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, tips, and tricks. And don't forget to visit Birdsy.ai for complimentary study sessions with Birdsy, your AI-powered study partner.